Continuing Mishnayot in Abot, Perek Hamishi, Mishnayot Het and Tet. Mishnah Het. Shiv'a minei Pur'aniyot ba'im ha'olam. There are 7 types of evil things that happen in the world, bad things, right? Al Shiv'a Gufei Avera, on 7 bodies of sin. Now, the reason why they say Gufei Avera, bodies or units of sin, are because we're talking about sin that happens on a public level, that they've become, when a regular private citizen does something, it's one thing, but when they become public, right, it becomes ingrained in the people. So when these sins, these omissions become ingrained, God will respond in kind, what we call midah keneged midah, right? So the first sin, miksatan me'aserin or miksatan ina me'aserin. So there are certain people that do tirumah ma'aser. There are some people that just ignore it. So in that case, ra'av shel basoret ba. There's going to be a famine, but a famine that comes out of drought, where there is some food, miksatan re'ibim, miksatan sebi'im. Some people will eat, some people won't, but it'll cause prices to soar. Okay? Gamru shelo la'aser. If everyone decides we're not doing it at all, no tirumah, no ma'aser, ra'av shel mehuma v'shel basoret ba. Ra'av shel mehuma is famine that comes because of war. Now, because there's war, it's not only a question of lack of irrigation or rain, it's also a lack of not being able to plant because your field's being overrun, so it's worse. The next sin, if people decide not to take halah from the bread they make to give to Kohanim, ra'ab shel kiliyaba. You have starvation, but you have starvation which is destructive at this point, which causes death. Okay, dever bala'olam, plague, no explanation for that. Al mitot ha'amurot b'Torah shelo nimseru lebedin. It's when somebody commits a capital crime, but it never goes to trial because people don't give a proper hatra'ah or warning to the person about to commit these crimes. Nobody knows, nobody cares, and it's just kind of a society where there is no control over everything. So in that kind of a case, what do we have? We have dever bala'olam. Ve'al perot shiv'it, and also when people ignore the prohibitions against selling or benefiting from the fruits that grow during the Shemitah cycle. Cherev bala'olam, war, comes al inui hadin, when we delay judgment, or al evut hadin, when we make judgment crooked, when our justice system is corrupted, or when people give out halachot, people are posek din in an incorrect way to people. So there we have cherev, we have destruction by war. Mishnah Tet is a continuation. Hayara'a ba'al ha'olam, we have attacks by wild animals. Al shivru'at shav, on false or unnecessary oath-taking. The al hilul Hashem, when God's name is desecrated. Okay, galut ba'al ha'olam, we have exile when al ovdei avodah zarah, when people worship foreign gods, and giloy arayot, illicit sexuality, forbidden relationships, v'al shefichat damim, murder, v'al hashmatat ha'aretz, or when you don't observe the Shemitah laws. So those things, avodah zarah, giloy arayot, shefichat damim, and ignoring the Shemitah, they cause us to be exiled. God says, you want avodah zarah? No problem. I'll send you to a place where they do avodah zarah, or where murder is free in the streets. It's all there, and all the other things. You don't have to worry about Shemitah if you do not live in Eretz Yisrael. I'll give you all those things. All right? Now they go back to this thing of plague. They say, let's analyze this one a little more carefully and say, when does David really take off? So David takes off in the 4th year of the Shemitah cycle, in the 7th year, and every year I'm sorry, Mosei Shiv'it in other words, the first year of the next cycle, year 8, right? Or Motzei Hag, every time Sukkot finishes, also Dever happens. Now, why? ברביעית, the fourth year, מפני מעשר עני שבשלישית, ובשביעית, מפני מעשר עני שבשישית. Every year we take Terumah and Maaser. Terumah is 2% to give to the Kohen. Maaser is 10% we give to a Levi. But then there is something called Maaser Shani. It's a second tithe, and that tithe is the farmer takes for himself. He doesn't give it to anyone. The only thing is he has to eat it in Yerushalayim. Now there are 7 years in the Shemitah cycle, 6 of which we plant. Years 1, 2, 4, and 5, we take what we call Maaser Sheni. We gather our families, go to Yerushalayim, eat it there. However, in year 3 and year 6, we do not do Maaser Sheni, we do Maaser Ani. We take a tithe and we give it to the poor. So what he's telling you is that we have Debir, we have plague, when in the 4th year of Shemitah, because you neglected the 3rd year giving a tithe to the poor, and in the 7th year of the cycle, because you neglected to give the Aniyim their due in year 6. But also, Mosa'eh Shevi'it, again, because you didn't leave the fields open for the Aniyim to come and take. You caused the Aniyim to starve, you are going to suffer. And, of course, after Hag HaSukkot. Now, why is Hag HaSukkot of every year? Right? Because the Aniyim did not get the gifts due them. The Torah has a sort of social net with leket, shecham, pe'an, all the other gifts that they're given that we have to leave for the Aniyim in the field. And Sukkot is the harvest season. And if we neglected our Aniyim during that time, we will pay for it immediately afterwards. So he says, all of these things that Torah provided for the Aniyim. Thank you, and school is Shanim Rabot.